Morning, folks. Well, it's been a while since I put up a video. Still dealing with the cancer treatments and things like that, but that's okay. Been slow about getting the videos up because I'm working on Christmas orders. But I'll take a little time today. Got a little challenge for myself. I've got a little scrap of 3/16 1084 high carbon steel. And I think what I'm going to try to make is a ring-handled knife. It was a very early type of knife found back around the Iron Age, I guess. Sometimes called a Celtic ring-handled knife. The delineating feature is that it will have a ring at the very hilt of the handle. Now, it's going to be smaller than the ones I normally make. Don't even think I have enough steel to do it. But you know what? We're going to try it and see if we can carry it off. All right, normally we start by drawing a point to start the blade, but this time we're going to start with the handle. And it's a little too wide here on the end for what I need. So we're just going to draw the end down and start knocking the corners in on themselves a little bit. That's important so it'll be easier to round this over to make the ring handle. Just going to knock those corners in. Draw it down a little flatter. And try to keep our thickness uniform. It still wasn't quite narrow enough. That's all right. Just work it down a little more. And we'll mark what's going to be the back of the hand grip and the transition into the ring pommel of this ring knife. Now I'm going to isolate the steel on the end. That's actually going to be the ring. I'm going to drive it down until I get to just about what I want to be the finished width of the end of the hand grip. Now we'll start working on our ring, and the first thing I've got to do is punch a hole that we can work out into the ring. I'm just using a punch I made out of a piece of car axle shaft. Some people that make these style of knives will forge out a long tang of steel and wrap it around to make a ring, but most of the historical examples I've seen, the ring is contiguous and is all one piece with the handle, so that's what we're going to do. And there you can see I have punched part way through, and now I'm just knocking the slug out. There we go. Hole punch through. And I'm going to start using the same punch to stretch it out. Now this would be a lot easier job if I'd made a bolster plate to slip the punch through, but since I'm only making one of these, I can get by using the four corners of the hardy hole. And all I'm doing is stretching that hole out and making it a little bigger to get it to the point where I can move up here and start working it on the horn. Now I'm just going to use the horn to stretch it out and forge the ring bigger. I want that ring to be the size I can fit a finger through. Still be a little tight. There we go. That's looking pretty good. But I think we need to go a little more. Just a little bit. Forge it out. Now we'll go back to the face of the animal and I'll work out my handle. Now this handle should just be a gradual taper from the heel of the blade to the end of the hand grip. Just forge it out and stretch it. Try to keep our thickness a little bit uniform. Just a slight taper from where the heel of the blade ends out to the ring. It's not too bad, but I think it needs one more pass anyway. Yeah, just one more pass. Just to even things up a little bit. Now I want to put a little curve in this handle, but we'll keep it straight for the time being. Go ahead and just measure it. It's going to be about 3 3/4. That's good enough. The person this is intended for has small hands, so it'll fit just right. Just going to use a punch here to round the ring out a little bit. Still not perfect, but it'll do. It's good enough. Keep everything straight as we go. Now we can flip it around and start working on the blade. Now we'll draw the point out a little longer. As always, working the point out and working to keep our thickness uniform during this part of the process. Now we're going to knock a little reverse curve into the blade. I know you folks can hear my dog in the background. Just ignore him. Knock the scale off with a brush. And we'll start forging in our bevels. Just going to work one side and then the other. Now, yeah, normally I like to work just the hammer width of the hammer, work on the bevel, reheat and move on. But yeah, gotta shape this blade by working the bevel and letting the bevel push the steel in the direction I want it to go. So you can see how that's curving the blade. I want this blade to have a flow to it, a nice curved organic look. So, gotta straighten that choil out a little bit. Got a little off center. And just planish out some hammer marks. Don't want to have to do a lot of grinding on this blade. Folks back in the Iron Age didn't have belt grinders, so they kept their grinding to a minimum. I'm just going to use a block of wood just to tickle the profile around a little bit. Change the shape of the profile just a hair. Straighten things out. Yeah, I'm liking the shape of this blade. But that handle is far too straight. So we need to get it warmed back up, and we'll come out to the horn and just knock a little curve into the handle and give that blade, this whole blade, that nice organic flow. So the only thing left to do now is make sure everything's nice and straight. And it's pretty close. I'm liking this shape. It's going to be really nice. Yeah. So let's warm it back up, do our normalization cycle. Yeah, I believe that's going to do just fine. Okay, folks, got it finished. I'm in the house. As you can see, I need to clean up. Here she is. I went ahead and did an old school heat treat on the blade. I did my normalization cycles. I only edge hardened the blade, and then I used a piece of hot steel to draw it back to a nice straw temper right along the edge. Kind of keeping with the old school style. Now that's the way this style should be. No handle scales. May do a leather wrap on the handle, but that'll be about it. The ring isn't completely round, but that's okay because this isn't for an order, this isn't for a client. And the person that it's going to will still be happy with it. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more content. God bless and have a great day.